After the destruction of the droid factory, Barris, Ahsoka, and I are escorted to our gunship.
Sorry to leave you here, Rex. There's still so much to do.
You kids have done enough destroying that factory. Go get some rest. And Axel, you proved you are deserving of that promotion. You stepped up and took charge. We're all proud of you. Thanks. I'm just glad we pulled through. Great job, kid. We boarded the gunship and it lifted off towards the fleet. We landed in the hangar and walked out. Blaster walked up to us. Hey, Commandos. Great job down there. Considering you're all covered in sand, I say you deserve a couple hours off. If it wasn't for you and your squad, we would have been toast at Point Rain. Blaster walked us out of the bridge and down the halls. We arrived at the barracks level when Blaster had to go report to Admiral Yularen. I can see why Anakin hates sand. Why? Is it getting everywhere? I rolled my eyes as we got to the showers.
Barris and I walked into the women's shower room while Axel headed to the men's room. I walked into a stall and turned on the water. The soothing feeling of a river flowed down my body. The dirt slowly slipped off my skin. I wonder how Axel is gonna get all that sand out of his hair. It's easy for me, because I don't have any. I can picture him getting frustrated by it, and I laughed to myself. I enjoyed the warm shower. Normally, we would need to be in and out for another mission, but this time, there was no hurry. The water carried my stress down the drain. There was hardly ever a time I felt this relaxed. I didn't keep track of the time, but I know that at least 40 minutes have passed. I turned off the shower, grabbed a towel, and walked out of the stall towards my clothes. Barris walked out as well. So I imagine you and Axel have a history considering you both teamed up on Master Skywalker. Yes, we have been friends ever since we were brought to the temple. Master Yoda even assigned us to the same youngling class. Most of the younglings in our class did the average of what needed to be done, but Axel worked day and night on his skills. I guess that's why he was highly recognized by the High Council. I even heard rumors that Master Yoda considered picking him as a new apprentice. Wow, he seems to be very dedicated. So what drew you to become his friend? I thought for a moment. Normally, when someone is drawn to another, it's their looks or personality. But it was more than that. I can't really describe it. It's just his calm and cool attitude and his determination to always want to be better. He also cares deeply for all of his friends. Axel's the one who would motivate you to be the best you can be. I could tell by the moment we met. He is very charming. We got dressed and exited the room. I saw Axel walking down the hall. He was playing around with his hair to try and get it into the style he preferred. I laughed a little because I know he did it mostly to stand out for girls. Even though attachments are forbidden, he still likes to make himself look appealing. That feels so much better.
Agreed. Well, I'm hitting the mess hall if you two want to join.
I was pretty hungry, so I nodded, accepting his invitation. I'm afraid I have some work Master unduly assigned that I must attend to. I shall see you two later. Axel and I arrived at the mess and grabbed some food. There weren't many clones here, as most of them were down on the surface. We sat down on one of the empty tables and started eating.
So how you feeling?
Better. I had a huge headache before washing off, but it's gone now.
I know the feeling.
I wonder where Master Skywalker and Master Kenobi are right now.
Considering their usual success, I'd say they're probably in a hole in the ground.
We both laughed for a good few seconds before we took another bite of food. So how's being First Commander? I made a silly but serious face while putting my hands on my hips and sticking at my chest. We both exploded into laughter. It took several minutes for us to calm down.
Honestly, it's not that different from being a commander like you. The only difference is that I'm trusted to run bigger operations.
Well, I prefer staying a regular commander. I don't want all that responsibility just yet.
No one does. But you don't work hard and only expect the bare minimum.
It looks like Master Kenobi rubbed off some of his wisdom on you.
I guess. But I work hard every day ever since I was brought to the temple. You never know when the day will come when you have to make a decision that will change your life forever. That's why if you do the best you can every day, then you will be prepared for the coming moment of fate.
I took a couple of minutes to let that sink in. I knew that Axel worked hard to prove himself, but this was a whole nother level.
Dang, that was like a wisdom storm right there.
I laughed with him as we enjoyed the rest of our meal. It's been a few hours since we ate. All three of us were in our quarters on 3 separate beds. Axel was the first to pass out, which let Barris and I play around with his hair. Barris didn't want to restyle her hair, and of course I didn't have any, so we decided to give Axel a makeover. Nothing fancy, just changing his hairstyle. After the little play for banter, Barris went to sleep, and I did shortly after. After a little while, I felt something strange. My eyes peeked open just a little bit, and I looked at Axel, who was still sleeping. Something was pulling me towards him. I could sense his heart, a steady and relaxed beat. I could feel his warmth, and it felt soothing. A thought crossed my mind. Should I go over to him? As much as I want to do so, I didn't and stayed on my bed. However, the warm, relaxed feeling still flowed between us as I drifted off. I woke up the next morning and slowly sat up. I turned my head to see Axel rising from his deep slumber as well. I laughed a little as he gave me an annoyed stare and rolled his eyes after noticing his messed up hair. Barris was the last to wake up. She walked into the refresher and closed the door. Axel spun around on his bed and faced me. I felt it too. I was very surprised by the sudden answer and stared into his eyes. We all walked into the bridge where Masters Kenobi and Skywalker were on the other side of the transmission.
Looks like he got Poggle. We did. Easily.
Right.
Anyway, we need you three back down here. More assignments just came through.
We're on our way, Master. The transmission ended and Axel and I locked eyes again. I quickly turned away, smiling and biting my lip. I felt my cheeks get hot as Axel winked at me. He walked up and got close to my ear.
You're blushing. Don't fight it.
He pressed his hands across my cheek. I followed him out of the bridge, still sensing that warm feeling.